Hey Buzz, this is Josh from K&B from the Kitchen Nerd Boy Food Channel on YouTube, and tonight we're going to make a homemade spaghetti, and we're going to use the sausage that I made in the previous video for our meat base. It's going to be a meat-based tomato sauce, and it's going to be fun. We're going to use some canned tomatoes. It's the middle of February right now and tomatoes aren't fresh, but you can still use these canned tomatoes like this because they were canned at their peak ripeness, and it's still going to be really delicious, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, let's get to it. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we've got 2 cans of these whole peeled tomatoes. We're just going to drop them straight in here. There's one, and there's the other, so that the juice all falls out the bottom. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to take these whole tomatoes and split them with our knife, like this, and get the seeds out of them. I'm just rubbing the seeds out of the split tomatoes. You may not get them all, but you want to get the majority of them out. And we're going to put them down in the pan there, like that, and put the split halves over in our spare bowl here. So we're getting the juice out of the middle of them and the seeds. The seeds are bitter when you cook them, so you don't want that. And that's the reason why we're doing this the way we are. So anyway, like I was saying, you want to get those seeds out. You don't have to use your knife like I was using earlier. You can just use your hands and split these canned tomatoes open and rub those seeds out, get the juices out. And again, you can't get them all unless you're extremely tedious, which I am not. So I'm just doing the best I can here. And then I'm going to take the rest of this and kind of strain the rest of the juice out the bottom. And then, as you can see here, there's a lot of seeds there left in that, and we will discard those, and we've got this beautiful juice here that we will cook with. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is take some of our sausage that we made the other day, and we're going to put it in here and let it start browning. I've got the heat slightly past medium on my stove here. My stove goes like low to 2, 3, 4, 5, medium, 6, 7, 8, and then high. And so I'm on 6, so I'm slightly past medium. And I'm just gonna take my hands and break this up kinda, and then as this starts to render down and start to brown, then I'll use my utensils and start to kinda break it up. Now when we make the sauce later, the traditional sauce has got, you know, all kind of different seasonings, garlic. It may have a little spice, some peppers. It may have rosemary, thyme, yada yada yada. That's all in this sausage here that I already made. If you want to, you can look back at the other video that I made. So we're not going to need any of that. All we're really going to need is basil and oregano for those traditional spaghetti tomato sauce seasonings. So we're going to let this heat up and cook down, and we'll come back here in a minute when this sausage is brown. Alright, so while my sausage is over here browning, I'm going to go ahead and take the juice from those tomatoes that I seeded earlier and pour it over in this saucepan. And I'm going to add my other seasonings, which are going to be some basil, just eyeballing it here, probably a couple teaspoons, some oregano, an equal amount, I'm gonna put a couple of bay leaves in there. We're gonna bring that up to a simmer and let that simmer down, that sauce. So we're gonna have the sausage, we're gonna make a mirepoix with the tomatoes, and then have this sauce, and then bring it all together, all three at the same time, for the final product. It's gonna be really good. All right, my sausage is done browning now, so I'm gonna put it over here in this bowl with this strainer. We'll get the vegetables going. Alright, so I'm going to take my hot pan here, set on slightly above medium high, put a little bit of olive oil in there. Let the oil get hot. And then we'll go in with our mirepoix, which is just apparently, according to my limited knowledge, is a French word for a mixture of onions, celery, and carrots. And we're just going to soften those down here on a medium-high heat with our little bit of olive oil. So we'll be back when that's done. Alright, we've got our mirepoix sweated down pretty good. The onions are translucent now, so I'm going to add my tomatoes that I de-seeded earlier. I took the thing right here and I squashed the tomatoes up so that they're more of a pureed consistency now. And I'm just going to mix them in here with this. And I'm going to cook them down, try to get the moisture out of them. I'm going to turn my heat up just a little bit here. On about a medium-high heat now, halfway between medium and high. And when these get cooked down, we'll come back. Alright, so we've cooked these tomatoes with the mirepoix down so that they're pretty dry here now. So I'm going to throw my sausage that I browned in earlier down in with that. And I'm going to take this sauce here that I've had simmering, and I'm just going to pour it through the strainer down into here, just so that I get all the juice and none of the solid bits down into my sauce here, like that. We get all the flavor, none of the junk. And I'm going to set it over here on another eye, and I'm going to put it on a low heat to simmer. And while we're doing that, we'll make our pasta. And this is what we got. I just got a wooden ball hanging off the bottom of those. And we got all this pasta that we hand roll. We got our sauce simmering over here that we were working on earlier, and this is the water for the noodles getting ready to boil. So we'll be back with you to throw it all together here in just a minute. Alright, at this point we hadn't added any seasonings to the sauce yet, because I just wanted to let all those natural flavors come together. There's a lot of salt and pepper already in the sausage that's in there. It's been simmering now about 20 minutes, so I'm going to taste it, see what it needs, because we always cook to taste here. It was pretty good like that. I'm going to let Jamie taste it. What does it need? Does it need any salt or pepper? No? It's good like that? Alright, well, we're going to leave it like that. If we hadn't put the meat in there, you would almost definitely want to add some salt into that. For sure. Some black pepper. Alright. We'll be back here in just a minute. Alright, so they've been on the boiler now about 3 minutes. We're going to
throw them through our colander here. And now it's time to plate. Alright, so we've got our noodles here. We're going to take some of our sauce with the sausage in it. Spread it over the top here, like so. One more sauce. Then we're going to take some Parmesan cheese and just grate it over the top like that. And of course, we're in Mississippi, so more cheese, please. And there you have it. Homemade tomato sausage spaghetti.